welcome to Arcturian Philosophy, and today we're going to talk more about the experiences that I've had on the Ashtar command. Now, once again, to make this pretty simple, what did I actually do to intercept nuclear war? It's pretty funny what I did. And now, see, in San Francisco, if I try and do this, they try to swing, they try to use their telekinesis to make it fly against a wall or break or something. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to do this around any of you super people, which I totally predicted. Anyways. And no, the Nietzsche is like, yeah, I totally predicted this. I totally predicted this. And you are me, so you tell them, huh? They made fun of me. Oh, you like that. Again, what I did, you see this? This is a Generation 4 iPod, and it was important that it was a Generation 4 iPod because these iPods aren't linked up to the internet. They're not like what you kids have today. You can't download songs onto this thing. You can't transmit easily to this thing. It's basically like a hard drive. So look at it. It's like a mini hard drive, and that's it. And except with some smart features telling you how you can play stuff. It's an old school MP3 player basically from Apple. But I noticed, I see Apple technology. This is very linked to whatever the Greys are doing. Whatever type of technology they're using. Also notice the sides. Notice this completely rounded edges. There's corners at the top, but we would think things look really weird if the whole thing was rounded. To us, it would be like, what? So I noticed that, it's got completely rounded edges. Who creates things with totally rounded edges? Which would be the Greys. All species of gray, all of the gray people. I just mean, like, you can be human gray, and I'm going to call you gray. Whatever. If you're not going to call yourself human, you could say, I'm human with X amount of Yael DNA, or with X amount of this species DNA. Well, I'm human with X amount with a 6% Arcturian DNA. So there we go. And the song that I was playing, so I was swinging the iPod, and the song that I was playing was Exodus by Bob Marley. But there was something else. It wasn't just that I was swinging an iPod around like this. And see, I didn't know this creates a frequency. Or I sort of understood this concept, but it wasn't until after the fact that they told me that, yeah, this is what you did, and you thought so strongly about this that it pervaded over the entire Earth. And I said, oh, okay, I didn't know I could do that. That's convenient. You mean I get raised by a nanny who survived Hiroshima and the bombing, the nuclear war there, and lived to talk about it. They had a saying over there, never again, never again. And we were about to do it again, basically. Our U.S. military was about to do it again to bomb inside into the Atlantic. They wanted to do two things. Because see, if you're hit by an atomic weapon, if like an atomic weapon fell on me right now, I'd be dead instantly. They were looking to feed. So, radiation poisoning causes an extremely slow, painful death. And if you've got people screaming in agony and fear and such, then that's a big feast, right? Then, if you're dropping that into the Atlantic, you're also flooding the whole area, which is causing hell for anybody who didn't happen to be there to get the radiation poisoning. By the way, my nanny, who I won't say her name. She's still alive, I believe. And her father worked in Hiroshima in the city. So guess what happened? Yeah, he didn't die instantly. He got major radiation poisoning and died of the radiation poisoning. And I saw a documentary on it. See, all of these things, what you're capable of controlling or doing, what they told me is, see, it has to do with your level of intent, the power behind your intention, or as Lacerda, the reptilian, whatever, says, the sending reptilian. So the sending human, the power behind that. I had seen documentaries. No, this is becoming more, how did I stop the nuclear war? Well, that's a good question, because at the very end, that was where the Ashtar command came in. But before this, where I was thinking, okay, Exodus, movement of Ja people. See, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was walking around the house doing this, and in the middle of it, suddenly my mind was it felt like I was communicated with by the Ashtar command. And I only had that happen at the healer guy, the reptilian healer guy. I'd only had that happen up till that point. If the 2 times I went to the healer, but suddenly it was like they were right there in my mind, saying, okay, you see, right now you are halfway in the middle of intercepting nuclear war, basically, by doing this. What you have to do is synchronize what you're doing with the music and your thought patterns, and we're gonna do it. And I said, okay. So I kept swinging the iPod and hearing the music. And see, one thing I will do is I will sing along to music, whether people actually like how I sound or not. I do sing in tune, I know that much. Whether it sounds good or not, that's the question. I don't actually know about that one. But do I sing in tune? Yes, I can. And the song Exodus is aptly about the Jews walking out of Egypt, or being led out of Egypt. And at the end of the song, see, Bob Marley was like John Lennon. Bob Marley had to walk around in all of this stuff and somehow get by. Somehow manage to fend off a bunch of reptilians trying to possess him constantly or have sex with him constantly, which leads to a possession entry attempt. He had all of that basically to deal with. And at the end of the song, for the Bob Marley fans, he's saying 1, 2, 3, 4, move! And just move! Move! And that was what actually did it. It was when I actually started yelling it as I was swinging this around, so creating a frequency. And then Tesla showed up, and he said, no, it has to be the same amount of cycles per second. And I'm like, I don't know anything about this. So, okay, I understand you mean same rate. What, I can't be fast and then get confused and be slow like that. Okay, it has to be exactly the same, like this. And he said use the beat of the music to try to get that set. He said don't go all over the place. You have to make it the same amount of cycles per second, was the way he said it. And so I said, okay. And then, I could see myself doing this, but I could also see myself on a craft at the same time. And I remember, let's see what happened. See, they try to erase your memory of this stuff. I'm going to stop swinging this. And they've tried to erase my memory of this multiple times, but it really has not worked. He basically, it was Ashtar, but basically said, you're doing it. Good. You're doing it. This is what's supposed to happen. You're doing it. And the song finished, and it was like I could feel the world shaking from from what I had said with the move, you invaders, move, get out, move, and everything stop. All of this. I was also focusing very intently on on stopping the nuclear war, but at the same time I was fighting like these major possession attempts. And you see, they'll try and trap us because we have so much sympathy. Because we're so sympathetic and loving as humans, they'll try to extort that and then enslave us over it. And so I remember running over to the others, very distressed, and I said, they can't come with us. They can't come with us. And Ashtar said, I know, most of them can't come with us. That's just how it is. And then after that, also things that Ashtar has said to me. He said, hey, Andromeda, you don't remember anything? You're a warrior. You're a warrior princess, is what he said at one point to me. Like, you don't remember? You're a warrior. You're a warrior princess. So apparently I am. And Sudevi, yeah, so are you. But you went to the wrong side. So figure it out already. Come on. And also, your earrings are great. But like, yeah, I had to reprogram them so they wouldn't kill me and all that. Yeah, come on. I mean, come on. It's like people think that they're gonna. So after all this Agenda 21 stuff, after all this nuclear stuff that I did, right? And see, if you think about this as a normal person, okay? I want some just normal old person watching this thinking, what's this girl wearing? She's freaky. Tell me what you think of if I was in my house doing nothing except having a weird random vision and swinging an iPod, and then suddenly a bunch of cars start honking every time I move to one room or the next. There's audio inside of my house, and when I tried to walk outside and they tried to outright assassinate me, I was inside of this house running around like a maniac to attempt to save my own life. I tried to go to the hospital, and guess what? They had picked their own people ready, and there was even a police car there that had a special kind of engine. When we parked, they were trying to give me thyroid cancer, and also flesh-eating bacteria up the vaginal area, because they wanted to stop me from having a child, because the prophecy was that I was going to have a very high percentage Arcturian child if I said okay to it. And so you say, okay, so like, if you're a regular old person watching this, that sounds like have you been taking your meds? That's what okay, yeah, let's assume that that's what that sounds like, right? So, if a person was just swinging an iPod, why would the people at the hospital actually, because, see, okay, I'm very well versed in medicine. The people in the hospital, they tried to do this with their eyes, like True Blood, and start hypnotizing me. And I actually started yelling, which was what stopped them. They were brain dead. Now that I can see, that they were blonde hair, blue eyed, like bred for control. And so was I. I was bred for control, but it didn't work because I came in to back engineer all of that stuff, and that's why I'm still here. So you're a normal person and you're hearing this and you're like, okay, that sounds like magic fairy tales you can pretend in your apartment. Okay, if that's true, right? If that's true, why is my entire town attempting to assassinate me? Why are my own parents trying to file a restraining order against me because I went to their house and asked for my belongings? Because, it was 3:30 in the morning and things were flying around the house. As in, like, what you see in witch shows? Yeah, stuff flying around the house. And I don't do any of that stuff. I don't know what any of that is, and I don't want any part of it. So So I go over there, stomp over there, saying, well, you know what? If you people are going to be this way, whatever Satanism that you're involved in, because I did outright find satanic symbols in their front yard, and it was like something directed at me to harm me, my own parents. And so I stomp over there, ask for my belongings, and because I had a key, I was able to open the door, but my stepfather was wearing a type of gas mask and sprayed a type of aerosol of some sort at me, which I knew instinctively was meant to target my lungs somehow, but something else told me, Krista, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, it's not going to hurt you, and they're going to see they can't do anything to you. Or, whatever they do, they're going to see that it's going to heal. They're going to see that they cannot stop you. The people that actually just heard nobody can stop you is what they're going to see. They're going to see that no one can stop you. Not even the bred super soldier people could stop her, apparently. Something about me that way. And that apparently was why I was watched like this so much from birth. So imagine you're a normal person watching this, hopefully, and you're hearing this and you're thinking, what the hell? I mean, that sounds like it could be in a movie or a fairy tale or whatever, but, I mean, so the police and all of these, and her own family are doing these weird satanic rituals, and so she has this ability. Apparently there was supposed to be a nuclear war and she stopped it, and if that's real, if that's actually real, why? If that's real, that would explain why there are so many people actually outright attempting to assassinate me. The day after I stopped this stuff, August 21st, I walked outside, and there was a man there who you could tell was carefully coordinated for when I would open the door. He had some kind of poison. It wasn't exactly obvious what it was, but I could tell that there was something about what was going on that was meant to outright kill me, even though I didn't quite know what it was, and that by being next to him somehow that I was going to be exposed to it in the air, as something in the air. And I was suddenly, as an angel stood next to me and said, "Don't worry, just walk. Just walk through it. Just we'll tell you what to do." And now they would like that to just be erased, go away, all the stuff that happened after that. I mean, so I go on the walk, and no one could hurt me. There was part of the walk where the Ashtar Command had to intercede because they were trying to give me a heart attack. Whatever they exposed me to, they could combine with HARP somehow and magnetically stop the systems near your heart. So they had to force a soul stream down into me so that I wouldn't collapse on the ground, whatever it was. So they realized, okay, that didn't work. So I get home, and guess what? The mailman shows up. Well, the mailman shows up with stuff that had, some of it, like, I avoided, thank God. Or it fell on the ground before, it touched me or anything, but strips that contained flesh-eating bacteria. But I still ended up getting this sort of vaginal flesh-eating bacteria. See, the reptilians, they know no shame, not shame, but they know no bounds to their depravity. It's the sickest stuff you could imagine. They also tried to see if they could give me Ebola, but it was like that just totally didn't work. Like, completely did not work. There were several times where I would get the beginning symptoms of it, and then it would just sort of stop. It would stop all by itself. So, in that, I am going to, I'm going to have justice. My own family tried to assassinate me. My town then overrun by reptilians because I stopped that part of Agenda 21. My town became overrun by reptilians in a massive attack. San Ramon, California, Dublin, Danville, and the greater San Francisco area became overrun, attacked, ambushed, you could say, by these reptilian entities because I stopped the nuclear war. And so what was told to a lot of the people here, I could hear it almost, that, see, you want to kill this girl because this girl's the reason for all this happening. You know, she just left it alone. Everything would have been fine. Well, people are slowly going to learn that no, wouldn't have been fine, and they all would have died. What my grandfather was telling me, saying, even though you're not in that blast radius, you don't understand it. This is something massive. This is, if you're not going to do anything, you have to run. You have to get out. You have to run. And then when I was like, I don't even know if this is real, he actually started crying. And this was a man who did not cry. And I thought, oh my God, okay, Grandpa, okay, I believe you. And yep, sure enough, me believing him seems to have made me famous in a strange little underground of people, but not people, like I mean reptilians and Yael. When the Yael realize that they can't screw with me very easily, they get pretty shocked. They get pretty shocked. Like, why isn't my dark art working? Because you're not the candle, stupid. Would you like to be the candle? Cryon says their genetics make it very hard for them. Like he says it's so close, it's so hybridized somehow with how, or the way that it's the way that the biology, the actual corporeal biology is structured is different from the human in... Oh, okay, Cryon, I just lost it. Come on, Cryon. It's the biological structure. Okay, the biological structure is like something about resembling machine code and machines. It's almost like cyborg, or he says again the word bionic. Look up what bionic means, and I say, oh, okay, well I do keep hearing that word everywhere, bionic, almost like you could say a computer that's alive somehow, or okay, the Doctor Who episode where I've mentioned this once before, the Doctor Who episode where they're the real people and they make these clone people out of this weird flesh material, but they're clones still, and they act robotic like clones. Cryon's saying yes, yes, exactly like that. Like they're clones of each. They have that manner of making clones of each other, and it's based off of a type of I don't want to say machine code. It's something about the way the genes fall, or the way that they look, the way that they're set up together, the way ours are set up together with the four bases and pairs and things in the DNA double helix, but it's like they've got some kind of there's something else in there that really resembles how you'd program a computer. I don't know how else to say it. It's kind of like that. And so that would be why also they're so hard to get through to. Even the human ones, like the human ones that have some Yael DNA, it's so hard to get through to their damn heads that they're human. I mean, it's like, what? Do you have to be held down and tortured? Like they did to you all when you were, like, a kid? No, I would prefer not to. Because we would prefer not to harm anything. Because we, the Arcturians, don't do that. What? Upon the Ashtar command, one thing I thought that was really interesting is that they would make jokes constantly. They would make things funny that you normally wouldn't find funny, and that was one thing that I really learned was was a good tool to use, especially if you take the perspective of not being like a normal human, but being a person inside of a strange video game, where you're like the avatar in the movie Avatar walking around, but the human is the avatar, and the avatar thing is lying in the incubator. And they actually do that, guys, again. They have incubators on the ship, which are there to keep the corresponding human alive. If they've got a person like me or something that's being subject to extreme duress, or basically being tortured, harassed, slowly murdered, what they'll do is they'll leave their consoles and go into their incubators. And what I kept seeing was a circle of entities around what you could call an incubator, chanting for the Arcturian there, and she would say, "Focus on me, and now focus on the strength that comes down from me, from my soul stream." And then when the connection would be formed, I would actually see her wince in pain sometimes, from either having to draw off what was being done to me, or by feeling it at the same time as me, whatever you want to call it. Now this keeps falling. This is what we are trying to break, and conveniently it's green. Look at that. This is the prison structure that surrounds the Earth, and also it's the one that's on Cryon's book 12, when that book is exposed to carbon monoxide. When the book is all you guys who have book 12 with the Merkaba on it and the Earth in the center, remember me talking about this. When it's exposed to carbon dioxide, it forms a diamond directly around the Earth, and the pictures on the inside change from looking like a friendly stick figure to looking like a skull inside of the stick figure. Yeah, and I have the video where I'm trying to show people that. So I won't go find it and repeat it again. We'll make better videos here. So, one thing, fun fact. Melaleuca tea tree is good for lots of things, including respiratory issues. Now, the dark side has been trying. I say dark side, I say it Star Wars style, just because it literally is kind of like Star Wars. It's crazy. The dark side type people, the people who have sold their light source, sold their soul, sold their light source. Your soul is your light. So if it's quote, sell your soul, that's what that means. Selling your light source, and it's actually done with a monetary system too. Why would have been $80 apparently. So what the dark has been trying to cause me respiratory problems quite a bit, but actually Cryon's telling me, "Oh, Krista, it just looks that way right now because you're wearing the tight dress, and you know that once you do that, your deep breathing, that it literally will stop, or it will simply reverse itself." Now, what they constantly are hoping is that they'll either give me HIV, give me some kind of lung cancer, or it's like, and Cryon says, don't repeat them. Don't repeat the things that they're wanting to do. There's basically a myriad of stuff that they're trying to see if they can infect me with or kill me with, and it all has to do with intention. Cryon's saying, Krista, the reason that they're finding the opening with lung cancer is because, remember, when you were imprisoned, you actually meant it. When you thought, maybe I'm not going to live, and you said to them, well, guys, I'm okay with your lung cancer idea. I mean, that's how my grandfather died. And the connection with my grandfather helping me, he says that is how they are finding that opening. You have to find, so for all the viewers, so let's say you have a chronic illness or something. So Cryon is saying, Krista, for the lungs, you have to find the root intention or the root cause and close the opening. Remember, the universe knows what you think. If you secretly subconsciously think to yourself, oh, I wouldn't mind dying of lung cancer like my grandfather did, which, when I think about it, that's true. Huh. Okay, yeah, that's how they're getting the opening in there. And then, okay, my grandfather right here, he says, Krista, you're not dying of lung cancer if I got anything to do with it. So he didn't really talk very much, but it was like I said that much louder than I think he was saying than he would say it. But it was like, you're not dying of lung cancer if I have anything to do with it, like that kind of. And so, okay, he says, go back into the root intentions, not knowing your grandfather, not being able to love your grandfather. Okay, so Cryon says, you can see how dying like him is in no way like knowing him. Dying like him is terminating in a similar fashion as he did. It has no it has no honor or weight or anything with it. And then he says it is irrelevant. What is relevant is that your grandfather is here, that your grandfather's helping you. And that's how you'll get to know him. Okay, now he says, okay, also anybody respiratory issues, now he says pull the light into your lungs, which that's one thing, that's the common kind of thing. And this, just so you guys know, tea tree. This is regular old tea tree, Melaleuca alternifolia. Tea tree has many uses. It's very good at killing, microorganisms inside of the lungs. Or if you have a cold, it will kill some of it. It will get rid of it faster. So what Cryon says is you have to restate. He says you have to restate that intention. It doesn't matter that you were practically under torture when you agreed to something like that. You have to remove. You have to like white out and write over it. Almost is how he's showing it to me. So instead of being okay with that, why? Because it would feel like, oh, I would get to know my grandfather if I died like him. Yeah, right. No. That doesn't, not if you can talk to the guy right next to you. How does that make that a way to get to know him if that is ultimately the reason why I said, oh, I'm okay with that? So Cryon says change that. Change that. What you're okay with? You're okay with the man that's right next to you. He says, you're okay getting to know the man who came to warn you. Getting to know the man who who also stood up in his family. Because remember, the Masons were passed down all the matrilineal lines, so my mother, my grandmother. But my grandmother, you see, she was a Republican. She was an uppity, she came from the rich South. She was one of those types. And my grandfather, he was one of the lower working class, and he was drafted into World War II, survived by miracle. And basically, I won't describe what it was, but he survived by practically a literal miracle, and came back. And it seems they were very much the odd couple. He was super tall, very silent. They'd call him Mumbles. Sometimes he would speak in German because he was full-blood German. His parents were immigrants because they were fleeing World War I and everything going on. They thought, oh my God, we can see this Nazi stuff coming. Let's get the heck out. So that's what happened. But the mother said, I don't want the boy. I'm going to keep the girl. He had a sister, my grandfather. So the mother kept the girl, and he was taken care of by his father. And so, as the story goes, he didn't really learn how to love. I only have one memory of him being alive or in a corporeal body, and it was right before he died when he had lung cancer. And I remember him being extremely tall and gaunt, and people would say, yes, it wasn't just that you were a little kid and thought everything was big. He was very tall. And now, so it seems when we discover, okay, root, cause, intention, I'm doing this in a very unorganized fashion compared to you, Teal, because you do it in a much more concrete fashion. The 4-3 Enneagram people love money and are completely original, so it's a great combination for lots of success, especially in a video format. The people like me are the 5s. They're like the lone philosophers who don't care if they look like crap, but still become famous anyway. Which is so funny. Still become famous anyway, even though we're like, don't care that we look like crap. So in causing in the root intention, finding the root intention to begin to close all of the openings for them trying to harm my respiratory system, it looks like. I kept getting shown, Krista, the way they're doing this is from where you said that. From where you said that. And what matters is when you speak something, you can speak it into existence. So at that moment, I was speaking that into existence for myself. Remember, we all create our own realities, so okay, I was speaking that into existence for doing it to myself, which allows the openings for other people to do it to me, or the other reflections of me to do it to me. And if I realize, oh, this is the problem, this here is the problem, the root intention behind this, saying it would be okay to die of lung cancer, is because my grandfather died that way and I never knew him. And in doing that, like him, in a way, it feels as if I would be knowing him that way. But Cron says, terminating, if two people that terminate in a car crash, do they get to know each other? One person in California, one person in New York, they die of in the exact same type of car, in the exact same type of car crash. They don't get to know each other. No, that's not what you're after. It's a misplaced association. Instead, you realize that you get to know this person by simply listening to them, because you can talk to them. Hello, you're psychic. Did you notice? Kind of thing like that. So that's good to know. Now, I think after this I'll make a video about recognizing reptilians, And if you think maybe you are a reptilian or basically a reptilian hybrid, if you have a human look like this, but like bumpy back, and you read about the different reptilian traits and things, that's a hybrid. That's a human hybrid, and I think I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a new video, because Star Gods talks about it quite a bit. Again, my website is www.infinitelightLove.org. So I will see you again. This is Arcturian philosophy.